All right, so this week we are jumping into American government, which is sort of a one-chapter rehash of the sort of stuff you ought to have learned in a government class. Um, I would like to think that this will not be a particularly difficult week for you guys. The chapter basically talks about some of the weaknesses in the Articles of Confederation and why there was a perceived need for change. It talks a little bit about the origins of democracy. I think it gives us a point, a point of departure to discuss the extent to which the United States can properly be considered a democracy, or whether we're a more Republican system of government that has many democratic elements. Um, it talks about federalism and some of the challenges related to federalism. I actually teach a course in intergovernmental relations that addresses that issue in some detail, and it talks a little bit about the adaptive nature of the Constitution, the fact that there is an amendment process, and the fact that it's been amended 17 something times since the ratification of the Bill of Rights. So there are a lot of interesting issues to talk about in this week. I think that we can talk a little bit about the Voting Rights Act and sort of the challenges that have been related to the failure to renew key elements of the Voting Rights Act and what implications that has had on voting rights, whether voting rights have been restricted in some way. I think we talk about the separation of powers. So anyway, I think there's a lot of topics to address this week, and if I remember correctly, all we have this week is the forum and the quiz. So let's make sure we do those very effectively, and let's have a great week.